from a long time and a person very important in the community. And so that's one of the, inspiring underlying factors tonight, which I think we'll all be very touched by. There's when I asked Cara Vida for a little bio, there's a beautiful thing. Digging truth from the rubble-strewn wasteland of the news, entertainment, advertising, industrial complex. And of course, there are few callings more noble than that at this juncture of history. So it's with great fondness that I introduced. What won't we get? Okay.
I emailed you a brand new bio. Didn't you get it?
Probably. Why you did? Well,
I emailed you a brand new
I'm too busy to be looking at my email, but well, it doesn't matter anyway. But
Dr. Emily Dickinson.
yeah. Well, no, Cara's in her Emily Dickinson phase, but or I'm in my Emily Dickinson phase, but
It's all made up anyway.
yeah, no, see. So we're looking forward to Smoke, Mirrors, and Soulfulness from Cara Vida, who will commence the evening's festivities. So, let me-
Jessica was going to open. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're going first? Well, oh my goodness. Oh my God, the fun.
How are you on?
Oh my God. I wish I were on it. That's the problem. What should I be on? Wow. We flipped a coin. We flipped a penny, a nickel, a dime, and we just flipped.
Flip a dime. Are you all right?
Well, thank you for asking.
Am I
Wow. Well, Jessica, let me go to I don't have to read it. Well, now I don't even have to read her many accomplishments and such. All right,
Jessica's opening, man.
Jessica, take it away, kid.
Remember?
What? They want the bio? Okay. Well, she's inspired by surrealism, Dada, and the top vintage Bukowski lineage. That's a fancy wine, top vintage. You know what I mean? Come on now. That's what? I'm pulling it out of my head. I'm pulling it out of our other parts. But she's associated with the Living Theater. She's also a collage artist. That's all accurate, right, Jessica? You don't have any objection to that? She does the first Friday series at North Beach and the June North Beach Poetry Festival, and she organizes other events during the course of the year, and is an absolutely essential element of the North Beach poetry scene. So we are going to kick off the evening with Jessica Loos.
I think it might be a little high. Let's see how he does with this part. Okay. Lower still, yeah. How's that? All right.
Now we're talking.
Okay, I'm going to start out my reading with a poem that I wrote about Sal. It's called Sal. Linden Street Chinese New Year fireworks haberdasher. Champagne and absinthe birthday boy, always offering copious dope. Dreadlocks you could grab like a rope, climb up into the skies of his eyes. He was dope. A man with patience of Job, showing when Snow White's blue wig stretches before she sings the blues, or when we cleaned up garbage after the cannabis show. We all wish you didn't go. I will always miss you. Sal, you were a beautiful cat. You were dope. And this is a poem called Brian, and it's about my brother. In bubbles, you climbed out of the tub, ran down the red carpet stairs, grabbed a cold hot dog, ran back up the stairs, got back in the tub, ate it. You called the bad museum hot dog a piece of history, cried for the soubrette hot dog guy who had no business like the other two at the Statue of Liberty. On July 4th, we laughed at the promiscuous girl standing on the table holding up a candle. We called her the statue of Give It To Me. You threw me down the stairs once. We got in a fight about anthropology. I thought the piece of umbilical cord on your belly button was poop. There must be man bugs because here are some ladybugs, you said, sitting on the front stoop. At the Grateful Dead, we ate mushrooms. You're 12 years dead. The dance of time zooms. He's gone, I said. We danced to the dead in Saranac Lake. Our father married Wendy at the clam bake. You were a terrible dancer, hated tomatoes, loved boats, was an expert on fishing the Jersey Shore, a lacrosse champion, big drinker, died of pneumonia. Favorite band was the band. When you died, I went on a bender. There's no splendor. Put the weight on me in losing people, but I didn't do it after my mother. You were my baby brother. Okay. And this is about my friend Elizabeth at Nafu, a painter in New York City. At 14, you came to New York City from Ethiopia, became part of the East Village art scene, then to D.C. to go to Howard, then back to New York, then back to D.C., then back to New York, then D.C. again. Now you're forever gone, a year ago. I wrote a poem about your purple tissue paper collage on your wall in your apartment on 3rd Street, above Tribes Gallery. It had purple hills and rocks, chartreuse trees on the tops of purple hills. A blue, blue river flowed below. Birds flew in the sky above. I still don't know how you died. Each year at Christmas, you sculpted a paper tree and had a party, made pasta with Italian tuna in oil, tomato sauce, capers. You cooked from around the world, smoked lots of weed, beady cigarettes, drank copious amounts of wine. Your beautiful, big, always glowing eyes. You taught me that Elmer's glue was archivable. You had a mixed media show in the Smithsonian with 4 pieces called Dialogues in the Diaspora, Shrine for the Angelical's Dreams, Dream Dancers, Haunted Forest, The Sanctuary. Maybe you're in a shrine sanctuary in a dream, in a haunted forest. One night, sorry, I lost my place there. One night we flew up to Harlem, danced till dawn in an after-hours jazz club, danced and drank till dawn. On the way back to Alphabet City in the cab, you suddenly asked me a silly question. Where the hell is my fucking skirt, you said. I looked down and saw that my skirt was missing too. And this is a poem about my friend Ricky Chen. Ricky jumped out of the van into William Saroyan Place, yelled, "I hate Hawaii." His bag rolled up the alley. His guitar case rolled up the alley. It had a hole worn from years of heavy strumming. Martin started drumming. We sang the Allman Brothers, not gonna let him catch the Midnight Rider. We ate chili in your SRO, your squiggle detail psychedelic art on the walls, red wine at the Trios, Dominic paying you to stop playing at the Trios. I was there telling a story about a guy I met at the New York City Pop Parade in 1982, how this guy and David Peel from David Peel and the Lower East Side Band guided me along with them, leading the parade. They thought I looked like a stoned Jacqueline Onassis. I jammed with you. I looked over at the Trios when I was telling the story. I heard someone else telling a similar story, and I turned my head, and it was you. I jammed with you here in San Francisco and Washington Square Park, sitting on the bench, the sunny bench with DeForest jamming too, and Big Rich, two other fallen comrades. Not gonna let 'em catch the midnight rider. You died of stomach cancer. I imagine you inside that worn hole in your guitar, as if it were a womb. Not gonna let it catch me, no. Not gonna let 'em catch the midnight rider. Okay. This is called Mayday. My mother made construction paper baskets. We filled them with lilacs from the yard on Center Drive. We'd put them put them on neighbors' doorsteps, ring the bell every day, every May Day. I think of her. I can't even read this, sorry. I'm moving along. Sog. Octopus sog me. Press my face in kiwi. Give me, pluck me, suck me out. Sweet pomegranate, wet kumquat, slick cheetah on a stick, white coconut flavored jism bug. Take a little lick. Pink tangerine, my pussy pop. Leopard pop, zebra bloog me. Leopard popsicle, swing high. Throw me, rave me, make me. Let me lick your gumdrop. Ah, the astronomic sound. Gastronomy swallowed. Eat me, move me, love me. Wet my mound of grass. Okay. And this is called the second line for Dave Bullers. The second line. The moon's a baby's eyelid. It closed its own eye, put itself to sleep, rising up in the sky to riff with dark. These blues, that moon, have tears now. So play what's unheard, inform trumpets, dig it. The saxophone echoes on a lone beat corner now, calling us to the second line. We respond, we dance, we dig. You are the parade, keep on playing that thing, blow that saxophone, up, up and away, bebop to boop, blues have their own ideas, jazz is now, dig. And this one is called Road Trip to Joshua Tree. We drove out of San Francisco on a foggy, hungover morning, leaving the sinking millennium and the erecting Salesforce behind for the warmth of desert sun and seasonal flower bloom. We don't stop till Bakersfield, the birthplace of Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, Dwight Yoakam, smoke-filled honky-tonk sounds. From Dust Bowl Okie descendants, Mama tried to raise me better. There's a dusty man at the bottom of the exit ramp, panhandling. He holds a cardboard sign that says anything at all. Mama tried. We got gas and 2 donuts and get back on the road, plowing through the Central Valley. Asparagus, apricot, alfalfa, arugula, big lots of figs and nuts. That's why the fruit fell. The greening of America, roadside farm stands, Mexican workers in tinted window pickup trucks, hot tamales, tomatoes, GMO corn. There are too many American flags and campaign signs for Trump on tin roof shacks on the highway, and a statue of a dinosaur by the tin roof shacks on the highway. We cruise through the national park straight away when we get there. Only a few red blooming cactuses, some buttercups. It's windy. The dead Joshua trees on the ground are skeletons, but Mama tried. They're There are 2 black caterpillars, a butterfly. I eat a bologna sandwich and get scolded for walking off on my own. We'd had, God damn it, it's my phone. Should I? I'll just ignore it. Oh, maybe. Okay, where was I? Okay, the dead Joshua trees on the ground are skeletons, but Mama tried. There are 2 black caterpillars, a butterfly. I eat a bologna sandwich and get scolded for walking off on my own. We'd had our fill of nature, went to the hotel, surrounded by an asphalt parking lot and a pool that overlooked the asphalt parking lot. We drink wine in rickety lawn chairs, watch a mourning dove and her baby on a wire. He was sitting in the shade. I was blinded by the light. The born-again hall next door has a picture of Jesus that says, Jesus saves. We go into town where a man on a wall drinks a bottle in a bag, asking for money for another. You got a quarter for another drink? Then he asks my friend, you're Indian, ain't you? Aren't we all, says my friend. Who do you run into in the desert? Flies buzz around the guy's head. We get back in the car and follow signs for a yard sale down a washboard road, more tin roof shacks. Keep following the signs. Turn right, Jesus saves. Turn left, Jesus saves. Turn right, turn left, turn right, turn left, Jesus saves. Red garage stuff, kids' bikes, cast iron pots and pans, rusty watches, a red wheelbarrow I can depend on. Later he will tell me, your dwarfed feminine's domestic skills are ridiculous. On the way out the next day, there's a dead coyote on the side of the road. More flies, more tin roof shacks. Jesus saves. We stop in San Miguel for the night, the only restaurant, a Mexican joint, closed at 8, life outside the big city. I get drunk in the hotel parking lot, full of migrant workers, and talk on my phone. Connor, the antique dealer, is dead. Jack Mueller is dying. He tells me that I was invited on the trip to see if he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and you flunked. We need to eat fried chicken, but we go to the old mission to smell the red roses by the old wine press and notice the anti-abortion signs in the bushes. Jesus saves. Mama tried. I'll take anything, anything at all. All right. Thank you. Now I gotta go check my messages and see who called me.
Don't go on yet. We're not there. Stall.
Okay, let's do this thing. All right. Excuse me?
I have your updated bio.
Oh, you found my updated bio.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so
You don't have
happy.
my updated bio?
Now I'll know who I am and what I'm all about. Because I forgot.
Okay. Should I bother with your updated?
I
Or?
bother? I say bother a
Oh,
lot.
right. Okay.
Let's be bothersome.
Okay. Well. All right. Good. Oh my goodness.
Something tells me
Yeah, I'd love to have
A
you.
disaster in the making.
I'd love to have
This
you
is gonna
read
take
my
a
new
moment.
bio.
the blue
I
bio.
emailed it to you,
We got it.
just like Jessica told me
We
to do.
got it.
Right, Jessica?
It doesn't mean
Yeah.
Yeah. and
It doesn't mean it got to
I
me.
listened to you, Jessica, because your head's screwed on right.
somebody.
Yeah, that's right.
Might not agree with that.
Hell yeah.
But they wouldn't criticize you for it.
I don't question
it's kind of a good
Jessica's
quality.
help in the matter.
Yeah, let's see what we're gonna do.
Yeah, what are we gonna
About
do?
like this.
Yeah.
Something like that is what we're gonna
Alrighty.
do. You know,
Yes.
and we're not quite there yet.
No, we're not. We're not
No,
quite
but
there.
We're really getting
Are we
we're
there
getting
yet?
So much closer.
Are we there yet?
Would you stop?
Stop
Didn't
what?
we get you enough snacks?
Snacks.
Oh, God. We'll get there soon.
Snacks? You don't have snacks here. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Snacks. A snack to
next
me
step-
is a good-looking 21-year-old. What are you talking about?
We could. Oh my
Yeah, you got some
Yeah,
snacks
see?
in here?
We get there. We're gonna get there. We don't know when exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm already there, so
There you go.
I don't have to worry about it.
Been there for a while yet. Okay.
All right.
This is kind
All
of
kidding aside.
okay. All kidding aside.
All kidding aside.
All right, so I'm going to have to get down by you so we can
I'll
do this
read it.
bio
I'll
business.
read it.
You do it, yeah. Come on. This is the official bio here.
Okay, I'll read my own bio, okay? I'm going to cut you some slack there, Mike. Decade after decade, Cara Vida, that's me, has reinvented herself as a visual artist, political activist, cabaret song stylist, drag king, performer, and poet. She has hosted diverse and numerous themed wide-open mics and parties at her Museum of Living Art in San Francisco. Her greatest supporter was her late husband, Salvador Inocencio. And I might add to this, he was my partner in time for 55 freaking years. And I am here tonight for the sole purpose of honoring him, basically. He went to many open mics with me. He was the driver. He'd always kid around, I'm the driver. And he loved it. So what? It was all for naught. So what? Powerless thoughts, unanswered prayers, undoable pipe dreams, and feeble, false hopes. All for naught. So what? If it ended that way, then it ended that way, and I shrug and I say, so what? Nope. Life is not fair. Not fair, damn it. Who cares? So what? It's all a crapshoot. A shot in the dark. Catch as catch can. Ah, hell. In the end, neither here nor there. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. It will all go on if we're here or not, so who cares? So what? For the moon will rise and the sun will set, and you'll learn how to settle for what you get. It will all go on if we're here or not. So who cares? So what? So what? Who cares? Who cares? So what? From Cabaret, the musical Cabaret. The look of love is in your eyes. I saw the look of love in Sal's eyes. Saw it in a flash. Always caught me by surprise. There it was again. Love expressed without saying a word. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Oh gosh, I'll get up. How'd they get so lit up? Gosh, I'll get up. How'd they get that size? Golly gee, when you turn those heaters on, woe is me. Got to put my cheaters on. Oh, jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh, those weepers, how they hypnotize. Where'd you get those eyes? Oh, Sal, where'd you get those eyes? Now and then, Everyone gets the mean old blues every now and then. Allow me to break it down for you. B is for feeling bad to the bone. L is for being so lonesome that you think you're going to die. U is for feeling that everything is utterly useless, including yourself. E is for running on empty. And S is for nothing but sadness and sorrow. And that, my friends, is a mean old bad news blues. Once upon a time, every day was Valentine's Day. A life of love, eyes filled to the brim with love, feeling the love, embracing love, alive, living in love, an invisible armor, protection from all the terrible people. Where do they all come from? Bullies, psychos, liars, narcissists, low-down, mean, abusive, hateful people. All the toxic people. All the terrible people. Where do they all come from? Once upon a time, every day was Valentine's Day. Heart open, heartfelt. In the end, heartbroken. Once upon a time, over time, lovely illusions brutally stripped away, left standing naked in relentless, harsh realities. Now vulnerable, an easy target. Wounded again and again, the invisible coat of armor had lost its power. Love was not enough. What a damn shame. Nothing would ever be the same. The damage was done. Another walking wounded. Some people are just too good for this world. While in a parallel universe, in a world of higher consciousness, a love supreme, a love supreme, a love supreme. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Smoking in haiku. Smoking is passé, no longer acceptable in this fucked up world. Smoking Salvador used cigarette holders, and he looked elegant. Sal kept on smoking along with a cup of coffee right up to the end. Fondly remember a long time ago in dive bars, booze and cigarettes. They needed a light. 3 on a match, bad luck. Want to take a chance? Smoking on sidewalk, I got shot a dirty look. Go to hell, Karen. I've got to calm down for a minute. I'm going too fast. I'm getting speedy. Smoking. What I really need is a cigarette. Smoking. Frowned upon. So bad for one's health. Along with everything else. Fag, death stick, coffin nail. Say, do you have a light? I have a death wish. Are you kidding me? You want a cigarette break? We don't do that here. Jonesing for a ciggy, slapped on a nicotine patch. It's just not the same. Watching old movies, characters are all smoking. Ciggy was a prop. Cigarette stylin', Betty Davis sure could smoke. Humphrey Bogart, too. On the small front porch, they became one with the weather. Can't smoke in the house. Ashtray full of butts, evidence of chain smoker. Good God, what a slob. Is there any more about smoking? I mean, I could go on and on about smoking. Let's see. That's what I like about haiku. It doesn't allow you to go on and on. Oh yeah, here's some more. Furniture, rugs, drapes, it all reeked of nicotine, even the artwork. Smoking is not cool unless you are a smoker with other smokers. Outside of the bar, the careless, reckless, selfish people were smoking. Pack of cigarettes is so expensive now I have to roll my own. The bad boy had a cigarette tucked behind ear in the old movies. Inhale. Exhale. Nope, not a breathing exercise. Smoking a ciggy. I am a smoker. Oh, it annoys you? So what? At least it's not crack. Life advice from my dad. Don't live in cheap hotels. Don't use an alias. Brush your teeth every day. Don't be a flash in the pan. There is no such thing as security. Oh, brother. Advice from my mother. Don't give your art away. People will not respect you. My apologies to my parents. Now, I don't want to go on too long, but I'm just going to do this because I have it in my hand and I pulled it together somehow, and I find it rather odd and weird, so. But no audience is captive. You can always get up and go out and have a cigarette, like I used to do during some of these readings, because I'm an addict. This reading is odd. I want to get through it quickly. It deserves a deep dive, but I don't have time for that. Briefly, here's what it's about. When Sal had his stroke, he lost the ability to talk, to form words. This is called aphasia. Sal had speech therapy, and the therapist gave him homework. Linguist systems, LINGUISYTEMS, linguist systems, worksheets. Linguist Systems, Inc. is a publishing business. Founded in 1997, Linguist Systems is dedicated to, quote, providing innovative, affordable, and therapeutically sound materials for speech-language pathologists. They publish many books, including ebooks. They have products like games, and they're all over the internet. They have apps. This publishing business, like I said, is all over the internet. Matter of fact, there was so damn much stuff on there, my head was starting to spin. Because I wanted to take a deep dive in this outfit because they work with autistic people. Well, anyway, it's a big thing. It's being sold. See, I went down the rabbit hole on this one. All of their products are copyrighted to, quote, protect the fine work of our authors. You may only copy the worksheets as needed for your own use with clients, unquote. So here we go. Here's what I want to do here. I found these. I was going through Sal's stuff and getting rid of a lot of stuff. We never actually did these worksheets. We never got to, he did these with a speech therapist. Anyway, here's what we got going on here. Example, S at the beginning of words. The S sound is produced by closing your teeth with your lips in a smile. Let me repeat that. The S sound is produced by closing your teeth with your lips in a smile. Well, that's weird right off the bat right there. That'd give me a stroke trying to do that. Direct a thin stream of air through your teeth. That's if you still have any teeth. All right, so here we go. S at the beginning of words. Salty Senate Senior. Service 7 sewer. Soapy soda softball. Sunlight sunny support. Then we move on to phrases. Okay. Serving dinner, setting the table, sewing machine, sick at heart, side window, sign in a window, singing along, sinking ship, sitting down here, soap and water, soft bed. Some more, please. Phrases: maple leaf, long life, double loaf, on and off, enough proof, new roof, smooth and rough, in the safe, caught the thief, not too tough, husband and wife. And now we get on to the third sheet, which we never did this, me and Sal. We never did this homework, thank God. Because what do you hear this? This is some weird shit, unless I'm just tripping from grief or something, I don't know. Here we go. Increasing sentence length. Copyright 1994, Linguist Systems, Inc., because their fine writers are writing this shit up. Here we go. You ready? Second time. This is the second time. This is the second time we've gone. Brass and copper. Brass and copper, coal, bucket. She polished the brass and copper, coal, bucket. Too busy to call. Her friend was too busy to call. Watch television. The man watched television. The man watched television every evening. Slightly faster. They finished slightly faster. They finished slightly faster than expected. Join me. Join me in the kitchen. I want you to join me in the kitchen. Help me. I need you to help me. I need you to help me find a way home. Couldn't understand. The boy couldn't understand. The boy couldn't understand the directions. Light the fire. Light the fire in the family room. He decided to light the fire in the family room. Well, I have a lot of concerns. Too busy to call. Yeah, that's some friend you got. Too busy to call. All righty. Slightly faster. They finished slightly faster. They finished slightly faster than expected. Finished what? Sex? What? Doing a jigsaw puzzle? What? Eating dinner? What? What? Help me? I picture The Fly, you know, that movie. Vincent Price. Help me! I see this, and when I read this, that's all I can see is, help me! Help me! I need you to help me. I need you to help me to find a way home. Now that's, you never can go home again, you fancy schmancy linguistic, who is writing this shit? I got to do a deep dive. I can't help it. Light the fire in the family room. He decided to light the fire. I hope he's using a fireplace to light the fire and not going to burn the whole house down. So there you go, some weirdness. Now, I want to talk a personal thing here. Sal never regained his speech, not really. But he usually could say people's names. He could do that. He would manage to do that. But here's what he could say. Fuck you. Shut up. Listen. Air, because sometimes he needed oxygen. Air. Beautiful. Coffee. You look nice. How you doing? Cigarette. 3. Oh, shit. Coca-Cola. Go now. Good. Dr. Nemi. Yeah. No. No. Cold. I am eating. I love you. Good night. Bye-bye. And we made do with most of that nonsense. It was charades and pantomime, and it was very frustrating for Sal because he was a charmer. He was the master of small talk. So for him to lose the ability to, be who he was horrible to see. But we managed. And when people came to visit, he wanted so terribly to join the conversation, but he was alert, and he knew what was going on. And I finished this. This is one of Sal's favorite little pieces, and then I'll be done. And then the open micers came up here. and do their thing. And if you're liked and you're good enough, maybe you can be a feature someplace. Isn't that what everybody wants at the open mics? Does everybody aspire to be a feature someplace? Does that still go on? Because I've been out of the scene a long goddamn time. And I usually stay for the open mics. I'm just that kind of person. But I'm all crippled up right now. And my husband just died April 29th. He was 81, and I'm grieving, and I hurt. But I'm one of the people that always stay for the open micers. So I apologize to the open micers tonight. I have to leave after this reading because I'm not doing so hot. I'm going to read this one last piece. This was one of Sal's favorite pieces, and then I'm done. Little Linda, in her tattered, once fine, hot pink party dress, was a punk rock bombshell smarty pants. She stayed in a rundown stucco apartment complex called the Casa Royale. She was paying the bills with a literary arts grant, working on a screenplay. That's what one does when living in sunny L.A. Little Linda had a black cat named Whimsical Whiskers, an iguana, Pinky, the white rabbit, a sweet singing parakeet, and a tadpole in a jar. She called them her babies. One morning, while drinking sassafras tea and smoking a big, fat blueberry bud, she said aloud, "Damn, I love being me." And thank you for being here. And I know Sal was here in spirit. That's for sure. Salvador Inocencio, born and raised in San Francisco, native San Franciscan. I love native San Franciscans. I love their attitude. They're so cool, I'm telling you. Okay. Well, have fun, open micers. I usually stick around for you. My apologies, not tonight. But have fun with it. And I get to watch it on live stream. Thank you, Eric, for live streaming everything here. Thank you. And thank you, Michael and Jessica and everyone.
Thank you, Cara. So we'll have a 10-minute break, and then we'll start with the open mic list. If you're not on it, you're welcome to sign up for it.
We don't need a whole drum set. I'm just wondering, like, to get this back in, maybe I should, you're probably, just to
For
kind
like for him to stand up at it.
of, yeah, for stand-up, but some medium thing and loose enough that we can do some vertical adjustments, you know.
Because like.
You're doing great. So it is a front address mic, and there's a little indication which side has the. So you want it. Where are you seated? Where it's supposed to be. You were doing fine. You were already smiling.
Right in top of the hill. You know where mission?
We're moving seats again, huh?
No, right top of the hill.
Yeah,
Top of the hill is exactly where mission.
yes.
You know where San Jose? The buses come, the minibus come up, and then it makes a turn, and it goes into San Jose Avenue, goes up, and it comes back around. Westlake is flew down.
Where's Jerry?
When did you get here?
I got here during your party.
So you heard road trip to Joshua?
All right, Eric, so we're off the mute now? All right, now we're talking. So, yes, so everyone, we're about to start the open session, which will be presided over by the great, the one, the only Jerry Faraz. And I assume that everyone who would like to read in the open portion of the evening has signed up. And is Jessica, what, like 10 people or? 11 people, all right. So as is the custom, I'll read, again, because we have a good number of people, we're kind of in the, certainly no more than 5 minutes, and 3 or 4 minutes might be, 2, what?
I mean, people should just not read.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you have a portion of a haiku to read, that would be ideal. A bio. No, we could discuss that throughout the evening, of course. But yeah, no, and you could have made it up from whole cloth as well. But so Jerry and I will each read a couple of little things before we get underway with the list. So, all right, everyone in the back, everyone set, seatbelts on, etc. All right. Is Jorge still here? Yeah. Yeah? Oh, there he is. Good. And Ricardo, and okay. Let me. I'm going to read this since I know we have 2 dear friends in the audience who are both poets and native Spanish speakers. They're multilingual, multicultural folks. So I'm going to read this. It has a little bit of Spanish in it. So it's entitled Dead Letter Office. When you leave the alphabet behind, it's off to the races. Syllable by syllable, wind cajoles the trees. Authentic locales are bogus as rubber ants. God is a white-hot scimitar, melted ice, a stylish scarf, but you've got no pants. Así es la vida. No hay remedio. Paz, sinceridad, eternidad. Locura pura es mi tío preferido. Remember, Every earth dweller is the product of a broken home. I'm going to read this. It was inspired. Ricardo was doing a Poetry for the People project, and he had a thing going on, and it inspired me to one day coming from the mission to here on the BART. One stop, and I wrote this little poem called Sometimes Poetry Is. A boiled potato with a pinch of salt. An exotic extravaganza of rare ingredients. Insatiable hunger itself. A sobering hint that the well of wine has run dry. A stifled gasp, a guttural groan. A crystalline note higher than a crow can fly. Yeah, so I'll conclude with this. By the dawn's early light, I get up reluctantly, put on a necklace of crushed sparrows. Stunned silence is my linen shirt. I put a writ of habeas corpus in my pocket and a space laser in my sock, as a plague of locusts chants my slave names. I almost envy the emperor's ragtag armies, their ill-timed smiles, their love of tainted air and colonized skies, their morning porridge of delusion and lies. The moon is lactating loudly, and the shrunken sun sizzles like a burning raisin. Yeah. Little warming up for Trump's birthday or something. But, Jerry Faraz. The one, the only.
What if someone said that Trump is like a one-celled organism? Okay, I wrote a book of bird poems. This is one of my poems. This one's called Kosher Turkey. Recently, I saw some domestic turkeys a neighbor kept. They seemed very happy, though of course they didn't know what was in store for them. But then neither do we, even if we are for the moment top dog on the planet. But remember, you are what you eat, and what we are is meat. That's the neat thing about the food chain. There's always room at the top. And that's why our father Abraham gladly cut the lamb's throat, while poor innocent Isaac wondered all his life why the voice of the angel who had intervened on his behalf sounded curiously like his favorite uncle Harry, who probably staged the whole thing anyway. He was that kind of guy, always with a joke or prank up his sleeve. Anyway, the turkeys probably don't get it. But it has to be done properly, in the right spirit, in the purity of that moment, with full appreciation of the gift, or it's not cricket. Throw it to the dogs. For the source of nourishment itself is without pity or sentiment, even for the poor turkeys, even for us. Yeah, I have a friend illustrated my book. Here's a can of kosher turkey there. Packaged in Chicago, Illinois. So it contains less than 1%. Anyway. Okay, so I was gonna try to see if I could remember a long poem, but the hell. Okay, so this is the creation of the small. In the night, before the world, all the problems gather into a little ball of confusion. In amassing crises of shattered glass and broken houses, cracked vessels and crumbled towers, all the scribbled colors and desperate clinging, teeming silver fishtails, every unsymmetrical thing not yet figured out, caught in a grinning net of chaos. A worried sleep settles over our heads like a dark blanket. We haven't a prayer. And so it was, when all was lost, that out of this bungled mess, something happened. A feeling was expressed, a word. And all at once there was a reason for everything to exist. And like a smile on the face of a tiny white mite, each thing responded, was glad to be itself. And the little earth, turning ever so slowly to the sound of tinkling glass, became a perfectly clear-cut crystal ball, invisible to all but me. Right. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. So I have the list here. And there's like 11, 12 poets or so. So if Eric has any chance in the world to get done for the night, we'll say
8:36 p.m., ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
How about 3 minutes apiece? That's 36 minutes, right? That gets us to 9:72. Two, well, it depends. Poems can
Yeah,
be
it's 3
kind of
minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's it.
I'm ready.
All
How tall is the next
Lights,
person?
camera.
Who's first?
Okay.
Start at the top.
Mr. Bruce Fisher, please.
Mister. Oh my God, he's tallish. I think we'll be okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
okay.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Okay, I'm going to do the 3-minute one.
Perfect.
This is called Being Jack Kerouac. I was being Jack Kerouac at morning of speckled blue hangover and silly run-on blinking neon dawn, watching the girls of street corner sadness, still at it with their tattooed legs and skipping over the rainbow glittery heels that couldn't run from the past of weeping schoolgirl youth or ever catch up to the angels they truly were. Then up in North Beach drinking beer at Vesuvio's, where Bodhi's outfit bartenders encourage your reverie, and at 12 o'clock floating across the alley to City Lights Books, with its creaky wood floor that spoke of all the steps of all the souls of shoeless paper saints that ever walked there, drunk on words of booze-inspired poets and chapters in print of debacles unspoken but gazed at, and the clerk with his eye on me, for I obviously reeked of wisdom. And as I tripped over a display of rare Bukowski porn, he asked me to leave, for my light was too great, I suppose, trying to be something, like a drunken laughing Buddha, staggering over the waters of forgetfulness, but knowing I belonged someplace, like a dog napping by campfires of bliss, dreaming of stew bones and rides in the car. So I stumbled out into the North Beach mystic blue noon, the blue moon of noon, the swoon of blue moon noon, smelling meatballs and marinara from Tony's joint, and wandering over, hoping to find others of my kind, who were drunk with the end of all things California, pushed up against the wild and endless Pacific, a sudden knowing where land meets ocean, the end of what is solid and sure, and the beginning of liquid mind essence, where dreams pour forth, manifesting as poetry or as fodder for a new Shakespearean dawn. For maybe it was not too late to hitchhike cross country, to see the blazing fire sunsets from the back of flatbed trucks, passing the bottle with down-and-out Okies and unemployed actors as we zoom across the Nevada desert on the way back to our youth, with the blue-green lilac night coming at us like a vision, enfolding us with its seeming lack of light, as it does with all men children who chase her, the motherly night, the curvy, soft-breasted night with her red lips in middle of nowhere diners. I was being Jack Kerouac as I passed the North Beach Library, so I walked in, and in the aisle of poetry passed out at last, next to Whitman, Emerson, and Thoreau, all those mad as fuck transcendental harbingers of dressed in raggedy rag bearded hooligans. And there I dreamt and woke.
Take those papers. Jorge.
I hope it's okay. I can read the translation, right? It's a short poem. No.
Nuestros niños, que vengan nuestros niños, que se abran las iglesias y sean albergue, que las túnicas de los santos sean sábanas, que las bancas se conviertan en dulces camas y reparen el cansancio, el miedo, el dolor y la tristeza. Que la hostia sea agua, pan y tortilla, y Jesucristo en su púlpito no esté crucificado, sino abrazándonos a todos. Our children, welcome children. Let the churches be open and become shelters. Let the tunics of saints be blankets, and the benches become sweet beds, and heal the tiredness, the fear, the pain, the sadness. Let the host be water, bread, and tortilla, and Jesus Christ and his pulpit not to be crucified, but embracing everyone.
Thank you, Jorge. Richard Ivanhoe.
Yeah, I like being here. As I walked up, I passed by Tibet, Nepal, Egypt, Cambodia, and Brazil. And I also noticed when Cara Vida mentioned setting fire in the living room, we've got awakening fire right here. Okay, this is Rant. 2025 is just 1984 once again. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. My local library has a copy of the Encyclopedia of Misinformation, but it's from 2018 and needs updating. Hey, Congress. Hey, courts, especially the Supreme Court. You swore an oath of allegiance to the Constitution, not to the President. When do you plan to honor that oath? Hey, governments, federal, state, city. Satan and his disciples, thank you for your contributions to human suffering and misery, not to mention environmental destruction. Profiles in Courage needs new chapters. Become a vertebrate. Get a backbone. Represent your constituents, not your donors. Hey, everyone. Stand up. Speak up. Speak out. Show up against injustice. Support those under attack. Support those least able to help themselves. Do this with love and joy, the best antidote to hatred. And I've got another, but I don't think I have time. Okay, this is Fried Gentry. I looked around and almost cried to see the neighborhood so gentrified. No friends on stoops at the new high-rises, new restaurants with small portions at extremely high prices, bars filled with young white techies staring at their devices. Long commute buses block muni stops, homeless, still harassed by cops. Newcomers buying property with all cash. Do they know what it's like to be working class? Tell me, how did we arrive here? There goes another car without a driver. These changes, unfortunately, correspond with all the friends and neighbors who had to move to Vallejo and beyond. What do you think? Can we change this mess? I want to hear a resounding yes, yes, yes. No need to stress or acquiesce as we finesse the distress of being dispossessed. Use our minds, use our bodies, use our votes. Prove that the power of the people is stronger than the power of banknotes. You know, sharing isn't sharing when on money it depends. Building a community is what this writer recommends. Share some meals, spend time together, express your thoughts. We control our destiny. Our opinions can't be bought. Support old-time family businesses. Learn your local history. The neighborhood belongs to us. It's no deep-seated mystery. Well, that's all. This poem is done. I hope you liked it, everyone. Don't take these words as abstractions or distraction. Please take them as a call to action.
Okay, Alice Rogar.
Hill Street. Outside my house, the tree has my heart. It is a nest higher than I can reach. It sways in the wind. Could I live in a nest of twigs and brambles sewn into a near basket, wound around to make a hole? Looking up, my heart beats in time with the fledglings as they fly and return to the nest. Mission Street, black gyrations of women's long hair, those rivers cloak the unicycle streets. They have spoken with the golden eye of the sun. Bells ring, they come from all directions. A roll of fire crosses the street. On the west side of the stream, a woman rushes through the sidewalk. She carried a bucket of stones to put out a fire. I am picked up and placed on a raft. The hands of the half moon come together. The long rivers rise like feathers, blown by a man who pulls through the air, all floating in the seas of my eyes. And my last one is called Transferring. It's hard to go places without a transfer or bus pass, the right coin, not like the boys who jump over the stiles, but I often need a moment, and then the bus arrives before I haven't finished fiddling. but one can get caught by the Muni police officers. Also, between borders like England and Scotland, when it has two currencies and no money to pay correctly, feisty Liverpool girls sticking their hips out, all in disdain. I'm told to sit down by the driver, who doesn't know what to do with us, who has no time for this nonsense. Settle down as a little child, the little child who saw a black person for the first time on a bus, going through 3 neighborhoods. Why did I ask my sister a question? Should have known better, making her embarrassed. I didn't know there are so many borders to cross.
Thank you. Okay, Charlie, get her.
Hey, thank you.
Hey. Whoa, this is new. I'm new, baby. I'm like a pink baby coming out the slot. Time is not a thing. Time has never been a thing. We have no time because you can't have time. Time is the relation of massive objects within a gravitational field. It's a condition like weight. Weight is just your relation in contact with a specific massive objects, which is the Earth. In orbit, you feel no weight, not because you have no mass. It's because you're in a constant state of falling. You're just falling in a circle. You don't feel weight until you deorbit and meet the ground. Unlike weight, we don't have a handy way to shield ourselves from time. Like the seat on a roller coaster or the apogee of a bounce on a trampoline. But what are 2 things we measure more than anything? Weight and time. Time. Bridget sits up in bed and realizes she has to send her hours in before midnight, and it's 10 minutes past. I have a little timer on my phone where I clock in and out for work. When I started at the post office, there was a real time clock where you passed a card with your name on it and you had to type in a code to say whether you were in the office or whether you were on the street. And weight, almost everything you buy is by weight. When I lived in the mountains, surprising, yes, but I did that. My roommate sold weed occasionally and bought a really expensive, in-context digital scale that could measure weight to the milligram. And yes, I know the difference between mass and weight, but the scale didn't. His reasoning for the expensive scale was that you always had to put a little more in the bag to be an exact measure. And by the milligram, that little extra could be less than 1/10 of a gram and still look like more. Of course, he sold by the 1/8, so he had to round up to whatever that was, into even grams, a number I've never known and don't even care to look up. And we were in the mountains, where 1/8 of an ounce has more weed than 1/8 of an ounce at sea level. It's conditional. And in no way could you ever cover the cost of the expensive little scale with the money you saved by I messed up the line here. By measuring to the milligram. It's conditional, like time. Not long after moving here, I met someone from Brooklyn on the day after their 20th anniversary of moving to San Francisco. And I remember thinking, old fool, how would anyone ever want to be in one place for that long? And I've been told, if you ever want to test the relativity of time, take your monthly paycheck and spend every penny of it the same day you get it and see how long the rest of the month feels. But we sleepwalk, measuring weeks to weekends, hours until lunch, until you realize that in January you will have lived in San Francisco for 30 years. When massive objects interact in a gravitational field, they produce entropy. That gravity causes changes, many microscopically and maximally. So whatever condition everything is in is always changing because its relationship, its co-reactivity with everything else. And we perceive this as time. But we can travel, maybe, theoretically, away from everything. Somewhere past the giant spaces between galaxies to the even bigger spaces between the giant webs of galaxies. And the only gravity with which you contend will be between the molecules of your own body, and time will mark 1,000 years in a second. But relative to everyone else back here, you will disappear. As if you were never there. Because when you count in eons, everything evaporates. It's the years we grind together that make our time go forward. Time may be a condition, and it may be relative. And while in an actual sense, according to physics, we can never have it, it might be all we have that matters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. And Barbara, where are you?
How's that? Does that work? Okay. So I have two short poems by a French poet. I've been doing a lot of translations. He's really amazing and very, very interesting. But I'll read one just in the English, and I'll read the second one in both. And it's called Modeste Demande, and his name is Francis Combe. And he does go by Francis, not Francois. And he's very active in world poetry and all that. Modest request. Yes, I confess I'm fed up with writing so often poems against war, racism, exploitation, injustice, the destruction of people and of nature. I would love to write only about the subjects that truly deserve it: women, children, flowers, birds. So, then, please, my friends, do me a little favor. Free us from capitalism. And this was on a totally lovely notice called L'Océan. Tous les ruisseaux du monde finissent par rejoindre la mer. Peut-être, dans l'avenir, existe-t-il un océan commun où parallèlement tous les ruisseaux humains pourront se réunir? The ocean. All the streams in the world end by reuniting with the sea. Perhaps in the future there will exist an ocean for all, where in the same way all the human streams will be able to reunite with each other. Let's hope.
Okay. All right, and Ricardo.
Say it again. Could be adjusted like this. All right. So this actually started This used to be Glen Park Branch Library. And I came in here as a child and I asked for a book. And I wanted a book that reflected, I was a pretty voracious reader as a kid. And I wanted a book that reflected me. This is a poem about that. There's a word in here that you might not understand, so I'm going to tell you what it is. It's pelota de trapo, a ball made up of one big, old, raggedy soccer sock or football sock stuffed with rags and tied with twine. And poetry, like bread, is for everyone. Words have always been my escape. I crawled into books when I learned how to read, searching, buscando, like bread for all. But I didn't find them. That book, them words as a child, a shelf of discarded books from the library, from the Glen Park Branch Library, searching for pan or bread. I saw those characters and none were me. I asked the librarian, are there any books about soccer translated so they could understand? What I really wanted to ask was, were there any books about me and Beto playing with pelota de trapo inside our room? Makeshift goals, a chair, a doorway, toy trucks. My mama never told us not to play ball in the house. Blasting our sock ball off the wall as hard as we could or soft and gentle. Quick and sweaty. Game up to 5, you have to win by 2. A silky goal, I rarely won. That was my bread and butter. I got a chance for one more, yeah? Or 2 more? One more, right? All right, so let's go to... This is a poem I've read in here before, and it's dedicated to all those people fighting for the people that are getting kicked out of this country. The author in the ornate school district auditorium, sleeveless, white dress, white stockings, and tattoos, said the undocumented are often depicted as scared children behind a chain-link fence, a face to feel sorry for. But what if that fearful stare is not that, but a stare of determination? Take me from your fields, from your construction sites, from your restaurants, from your delivering your food. Rip me from your homes as I care for your children. Stop me from helping to clean the wreckage of 9/11, of Katrina, of Hurricane Francine, of the LA fires. Still we smile and dance to merengues, cumbias, bachatas, valses, sones, vallenatas, norteños, reggaeton. The guaguancó will still hit with the clave helping to keep time. Tum, 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 tum. Tum, 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 tum. Their poison is not potent. It hasn't yet taken the smile from my face, hasn't stopped the joy of kicking the round ball or of us gathering this weekend for arepas, conversations, and connection. Didn't stop Carlitos from telling me to use my 2 tongues to forge a decent future, not one where you go home every night with swollen, throbbing hands and aching knees. It won't stop the roaring, unceasing ocean. We, and yes, you, are still just a grain of sand. Your potent power will wilt. And if you proceed with the plans of kicking my brothers and sisters out, be ready. I'm that boy or that teacher sitting in the back of the classroom or standing in the front of the classroom, watching, waiting, staring back at you with resolve. We have known this fight exists, and we're still here.
That's fine. Okay.
How's that? Good? I have two short ones. First one's called A Garbled Heart. Not a steady thumping in the confines of my tiny sketch design, but disconnected, uncoordinated, floundering. Skips and bumps push the parameters, sutured by a string. A ragged seam halted no breath, yet a beat. At times nearly gone, until I'm expelled from myself, my mother, to a place on the other side of a bridge so small it escapes awareness. I step into eternity where this life left off. Oh, sorry. Ready to start again where this life left off. There you go. And then the second one is judgments. So much of us invisible, save for outward display, vague and unconfirmed, that what you hear is what I say. Personality, unseen protagonist, brain, bone, blood, muscle, pushes through stillness, heartbeat of everything, variations, ever constant, water, ice, steam, vapor, transmute in the mist of a crackling fire.
Thank you, Antoinette. Scooter.
Thank you. One poem. Stone giants, no more water, the road eating silence. Does the river dream of water, the frequency of dawn, of midnight, the dance between the two? The first mockingbird of spring, outside morning window. Listen close, the sound of memories, the birds of time, afternoon crows, Los Angeles, half a century ago, filling the sky, a daily gathering. As long as silence returns, a hope that has no opposite in fear. The crow, the mockingbird, eating silence, no more water, the frequency of water. Everything has to do with everything. Spiritual cream cheese.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Okay, next is breakfast.
Breakfast?
Breakfast.
Most important meal of the day.
All right. I'm just going to stand, I guess, generally kind of near the microphone. I might not need it. So, a couple years ago, my mother was on her deathbed. Yeah, surprisingly light story that starts that way. Just like in the spirit of remembering Sal. When my mom was on her deathbed, one of my sisters found a poem that she wrote probably around 1980 when I was in elementary school. And it was a poem that was about the not long before discovered skeleton Lucy, the 4 million-year-old skeleton discovered in 1974. And so we found this poem. I read it to her, like, you know, in her last conscious days. We had a good laugh together. And then a few weeks after she died, I set the poem to music. So here's the song. It's called O Australopithecus. O Australopithecus, Neafarensis, didn't like houses and didn't build fences. She scurried around on all 4 of her feet, and then she stood up one day and said, "Wow, this is neat." Her hands were now free to do lots of things, such as picking off cooties and wearing bright rings. She could swat at the flies and pick up her kitties and enjoy as she walked the pert sway of her titties. She could... What could she do? Oh, she'd scurry. Oh, no, my goodness, I forgot. and the dum bum 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 bum. So, oh, that's right. Ba 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 ba, and the lumbar senses. Oh well. So if those lumbar senses bent down all your senses, something about back pain. How at least you can thank you to old afferensis. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I feel like I disappointed my poor mother, but whatever, that's okay, she's not here. Anyway, next.
All right, and now we have the honor of Jeff Kalis. Jeff. One of our,
How do we lower that mic a bit? It's been getting in the way of a lot of things. How do we lower it? Is there a way to lower it?
Yes.
Should I figure it out?
Yes.
Okay. Mics are always a challenge. Okay, let's see. Hey, knob. This knob? This?
Oh, yeah, you did it. Erase the shadow.
How about that, folks? And while we're at it, let's have some appreciation for Eric and for Michael and for Jerry. And I've got some personal approval for Jessica and for Cara for their love of older things and of music, which go well together, and set me up for this poem. Part of what I love about Burton Beckett is that it is more than one thing. It's very much music. And this poem was written about a musical event in this place. The title is The 230 Jones Street Local 6 Literary Jazz Band. All right. Eric knows the title. We'll go into the meat of it. The band in the bookstore, the books will have to watch from their bookcases, waiting to sing through their covers while white-haired men, warmed by a small gathering of smiles in folding chairs, make music for the end of the week or of life. Want an intro? Dean inquires. It'll be 3 flats, Chuck decides, for there will never be another you. There will never be another young Howie hankering beyond the bell of his tenor sax for that chick in the black beret and tight turtleneck back in that place in the village after the war. But Howie's melody lingers here. Short white Dean takes a black man's jaunty stroll among thick strings along a tall bass and gazes down at little Esme, next to the audience, next to her daddy, with his European stubble and whispered accent. Dean sees her nod with the beat of Thing 1 and Thing 2, holding her Seuss in her lap in her stroller. Off to Perdido, another from the frisky 40s. From his raised and tuneful licorice stick, Howie pours Pernod for Esme's Père, while Glenn cajoles the kid in perioded jive. Our hearts arrest with Tony's paradiddles, but we find the past in this Perdido, where it's bailed out by the present and released to the custody of Esme's future. Raindrops fall from I'll Remember April, blurring our arid modern autumn. Now deeper in the set, the players get younger. Howie remembers what he used to say and how he said it. Glenn is writing down numbers in his little red book again. Chuck is picking out pretty colors for a seductive bouquet. Tony knocks on more than one door at the nurse's residence hall. They'll all remember April, and we with them, as they used to. Over cheap shots poured out strong, late into the dim early hours after the gig. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here.
Okay, Jeff. All right. Okay, and now our house philosopher in residence here, Walker Brand.
That's enough of that now. All right. So I'll just read this short poem, and it goes in here. This is a short poem. It's about birds. I wrote it in Kansas, several weeks ago, in honor of everything that we're going through in our human reality. You know, and all the specifics and the details which move us again and again. So the birds sitting in the tree are connected by the twining twigs and branches on which they perch. The birds in the sky are connected by the hidden routes in the air they go through from place to place. The birds in a house are connected by their mutual indwelling. And how are we connected? We are connected best by what we have come to love. Love creates its own sense of time, of kairos, creative time. One of the ways time is creative is through memory. We can foster the feeling of knowing what is of value in the world through memory of what we love. Creatively, we can see that what we love and the way we love it has not gone anywhere but is with us. The circumstances and appearances may be in a state of change all the time, but the way we come to know what we love and have loved is something that changes as well, but in a different way. We learn to understand it more and more as we go along, each our own way. What we love does not go away, but still speaks within our hearts. And so I would say it inspires us with poetry.
Did everybody read that wanted to read? Okay, oh, thank you, Jessica. See you next month, first Thursday. Thank you, Michael. How are you getting back, Jessica?
I don't know, depending on going in the direction.
See you again in a month, huh?